Okay, guys, welcome to this incredible Zoom meeting. I have to apologise for everyone that we promised to go live on Facebook. Unfortunately, there was a tech issue and Jeff and I couldn't connect. I couldn't bring him on the live. So here we are in the Zoom. It's really cool anyway because we'll be able to share this outside of the group. So listen, guys, welcome. We've already got a couple of superstars here, Jay, Steve, Beckett, and Alison, all the way from Missouri. And Jeff, all the way from Seattle, Washington. Oh, it really is my privilege, guys, to welcome you all here. And honestly, I get so blown away by the diversity and the backgrounds of the incredible entrepreneurs I get to speak to in this group. And this guy is no different. And I really love, I'm actually honoured to have Jeff on here because as an ex-serviceman myself and an ex-police officer, I really love speaking to ex-servicemen that are in this business. Because the skill set, the passion, the adapt, overcome attitude that ex-servicemen have, they are like born to win in this business, right? So I want to welcome Jeff Wysong. He's all the way from Seattle, Washington. How are you, Jeff?
I'm great, Tony. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for everybody for joining. I really appreciate this. I'm honored as well. Thank you.
Yeah, that's an absolute pleasure, mate. We're going to find out a little bit more about your background. But firstly, mate, what we're going to do is find out how on earth did a rock star like you find your way into Arbonne, mate? What did that look like? We'd love to know.
Well, I think my story might be similar to a lot of people's, right? In that it was kind of just floating in front of your face. Somebody that you knew was doing it and you had an interest, but you didn't really necessarily engage and ask the question about what it was because you were just kind of skeptical, and that's how I was. Yeah. You and I talked before, and I told you I was involved in another business in this realm before, and it burned me pretty bad. And so I wasn't sure what Arbonne really was. I wasn't sure if it was the same, and if it was, how bad it would hurt me again in my quest to find another stream of income and happiness and be able to help people. And it just so happens that I have a lot of military friends that are in the business, still active duty. And my direct upline, Tamika Luwahati, she's still active duty Air Force, and she introduced me to the 30-day program. I decided to try it out because, as I may or may not have said before, I'm actually retired Air Force, right? So I didn't want to continue to gain weight and get that retired body, if you know what I mean. I didn't want that, and I knew it was coming if I didn't do something. And so she waved the 30-day healthy living challenge in my face, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to try this out and see. And within the first week, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and jump on the business side of things. And I've loved it ever since I joined. So,
wow. So, mate, what was her actual reach out? Because I get a lot of people message me with this question: how do I get men in this business? How do I reach out to them? And so, say for anyone who has servicemen or ex-servicemen in their network, how did your upline reach out to you that made it so that you prioritise your health? And then we'll talk a little bit about the catalyst for you changing into becoming a consultant in a sec. But I'd love to know the reach out that she did that people would find really valuable, I think.
Okay. For me, like I said, it was all about I trusted my friend. Okay. And so she didn't prod me. She didn't poke me. She didn't sell it to me per se. She just, talked it up to me and educated me on it. And I think for guys, if I can relate to that point that you just made, for guys, oftentimes in these types of things, we have to be kind of finessed. We have a big ego. We have to get rid of our egos. Yeah. And so having a friend that I could trust in the business lowered down that guard a little bit and helps me get past the ego to just, give it a try, give it a once over.
Wow. So what I'm getting, mate, is for anyone who's looking at approaching a serviceman or ex-serviceman in the business, make sure you have their trust, because then as guys, particularly us servicemen and ex-servicemen, we do have a big ego, right? Because that can be really valuable in the business we were in. And a lot of guys have this unknown and unexpected kind of fear. So I think there's a lot of education and enrollment goes on when you want to talk to someone about joining the business. So that's that little bit, mate. I'd love to hear a little bit about your background because, mate, I know that you're a decorated veteran. You've done a couple of tours to Iraq and Afghanistan. Mate, I'm sure there's a story and all of that, and I'm just jumping out of my seat to hear a little bit about it, mate.
Sure. Yeah, I'll start from the beginning, I guess. So I joined the Air Force out of Seattle, Washington, which is where I was born and raised. I needed a change of scenery. I needed something to get me out of what I was in. I wasn't going anywhere. I joined the Air Force on a whim. And the job that I started in the Air Force was building bombs and testing missiles. And it wasn't something that I saw as a career, but it was more of a job. And so I started looking out a little further, and I became a federal law enforcement officer and counterintelligence agent, similar to a lot of folks in the States know this show. I don't know if you have it there, but it's called NCIS, which is the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, right? So I became a federal agent investigating felony level crimes, and got involved with counterintelligence and deployed quite a bit. In that time, I was assigned to Special Forces unit for about 3 years, and we went to a lot of places and did a lot of things. And on one of my tours doing counterintelligence in Iraq, my small unit was hit with a roadside bomb, and I actually met my current wife, who was active duty Air Force as well at that time. I met her in the emergency room through that. And so it was a pretty bad day, but I found the love of my life. You know, I found my best friend that day, and I never thought that would happen. So here we are. We're coming up in 3 weeks. We're coming up on our 11-year anniversary. So it worked out. It worked out quite a bit. But I've been all over the world. I've seen a lot of cultures. I think that's one of the best things I can take away from my military service that I could apply to this business is just the diversity. You touched on it a little bit in the beginning. Just the diversity of this business.
Yeah.
If you haven't gotten out of your house or gone to another country or gone to another state or something, it's tough to really fathom what diversity really looks like sometimes. And I think by joining the military and going to all those places, it opened my eyes, it opened my heart, it opened my brain. And that I can apply to Arbonne and the business side of things, simply because people are different everywhere you go, and you have to approach the business differently as well.
Wow. So, mate, you just actually answered my next question, which was, what skill set from your past occupation can you bring to your Arbonne business? But I think at the end of the day, you have to have a genuine love and a genuine curiosity for people. And you really have to have a way to touch humanity. And I think in the service, you do get to learn that. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I was fortunate in the job that I held within the military to be able to be exposed to those kinds of skill sets, right? Like those are things that can't really be taught. Those are things you have to be exposed to and experienced to be taught.
Yeah.
And you can probably understand that as well, being a ex-military and ex-police officer. There's certain ways you have to be able to finesse certain situations and certain people, and you can only get that if you've had the experience to do that. And you learn that over time, and it's not something that can be taught to you one-on-one.
Now, Jeff, we just breezed over this, but I've got to backtrack a little, mate. Now,
sure.
You've been blown up by a bomb. You're in the emergency room, mate. There's a romantic story that I've just got to listen to, mate.
Yeah.
Was she kind of like a guardian angel that came in and? Mate, I got to find it. There's got to be women that are going to be watching this and they're going to be, oh my God, that's just What do you reckon, Alison? We got to hear more about this story, right? Yeah.
I can certainly let you know. Yeah. So
there's a couple of romantics on here, Chuck and Big Jace. They're romantics. They're going to want to hear this.
So fortunately, as I mentioned before, my unit was real small. We had about six agents. And 2 of those agents and friends of mine were killed that day.
Wow.
Thankfully, God bless the situation. God bless everybody that was there. But I didn't physically get hit. I don't know how it didn't happen, but I didn't physically get hit. But I carried my friends to the hospital because I was right there, right next to them. I had to try and do life-saving efforts to get them to the hospital because we were downtown Kirkuk, Iraq, which is northern Iraq.
Wow.
My wife remembers meeting me. I don't remember meeting her. I was definitely in a state of shock. I was not in the present moment.
Yeah.
I was covered head to toe in blood, and she ran up to me. She was a medic, so she ran up to me with blood bags to see if I could assist save my friends' lives. And she tells me all the time when we talked about this story that she ran up to me with a blood bag and saw my face and immediately was like, nope, took off and said, that guy's going to kill somebody. So she knew that I wasn't in the right state of mind.
Right.
But it just so happened that the base that we were at was really tough to get to for military transport. It took us a week to get from outside the country into the base that I was at.
Wow.
Along the way, we picked up an Air Force psychiatrist and her aide, not knowing, and made friends with them, and not knowing that, 3 months later I was going to need a psychiatrist, right?
Right.
And it just so happens that my current wife sat at the desk next to the psychiatrist, and that's how we eventually started talking and met.
Wow.
And I was only there for 3 days after we met. So
Wow.
it just, after we left, the way the military works, you can only get assigned somewhere with your spouse if that spouse is either active duty military and you apply with them, or they're not a military spouse and they go with you. But her and I weren't married to one another. But it just so happened that she got orders to Okinawa, Japan, and a month later I got orders to Okinawa, Japan. Things just seemed to line up, and here we are today, 11 years married. So
that's the universe for you, mate. And I'll tell you what, that story is every bit as cool as I thought it was going to be. I loved it, mate.
I like it too.
Thank you so much for sharing, mate. Now, back to business.
Back to business.
Mate, there's going to be a heap of people on here going to want to know how you're building your business, mate. I know you're on fire. How are you building your business? I know you're a tech expert down in downtown Seattle, Washington State. And
That's
how are
right.
you building your business, mate?
So in my current job, as an account executive selling technology, sales is a pretty rough business, and it keeps you busy all the time. There's never any down moments. It seems there's no 9 to 5, so to speak. You really have to do the job as much as you can while you have the time you have. With that mindset, I apply that to my Arbonne business as well. So all those little down moments that I have throughout the day, or days that I have off for recuperation or whatever the case, I'm just using the social networking and applying it through that approach. I've started to go around to my local veteran organizations and connect with other vets so they can experience the same thing that I'm experiencing and get exposed to the business as well. But really, all of my connections and all my business has been made through social connections and just sharing what it is that we do and sharing these products because they're amazing.
Yeah.
I like to talk about it. I love what it's done for me, so I just want to share it.
Yeah. Mate, I really love that. I'm actually part of a PTSD group in here in Western Australia, and there's some undeniable links between gut health and mental health, and so the work that we're doing and getting people in their healthiest version is just one of the little cogs in the wheel to recovery for police officers that have served the community, and probably will never get over it, but we can help them, and ex-servicemen. I really love the work that we get to do and be a stand for these people that have served our country and our community, mate. So, mate, moving right on, what is your favourite product? So I've had 10 messages this week from people saying, please ask when you interview the next person, what is their favourite product? And I don't know where that question comes from, but everyone needs to know.
Yeah, I guess you're going to get a lot of different answers depending on who you ask, right? But I can probably say with a lot of faith that most of us are going to say some version of fizz or protein on the nutrition side.
Right.
I genuinely love all the nutritional products we have. I really, really do. I tell people all the time, I used to be a protein kind of guy, meaning that I went out and sought out all the masculine proteins and masculine supplements and all the rager type stuff. And I didn't know a vegan protein would be as delicious and as beneficial as it could be. And so I really fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I will say also that I've also used some of the skincare.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, that's going back to the ego thing. Sometimes guys don't believe they need the skincare, but it's a huge, huge deal. And I've started to really love the skincare products as well. So that's a tough answer, but I'd have to say the protein and the fizz.
Yeah. Well, I think the nutrition program has been the catalyst for so many men having an opportunity in this business because, skincare and makeup is probably something that we're not all that great at. But I reckon if you use skincare and you use nutrition, my catch call is no one will ever guess your age, right?
That's right.
And look at all these youngsters on this call. I mean, Alison's probably 21 and Becca's probably 23, and Big Chuck is probably 27. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I really do like the this whole transformation that this business has shown me and the products have shown me. It's made me learn myself and what I need to do to take care of myself better a lot more than the gym and these supplements ever did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The circles that I were in, all these over egotistical masculine circles that I was in, I never would have learned these things had I not just given it a shot. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Absolutely, Jeff. I mean, I always say that we only have 3 currencies, right? And this is the place I always come from when I'm growing my business. Health, time, and love. And if you get the first one right, all the others will follow along, right?
I love that. That's great.
Yeah. I always say to our team, just come from the place of your greatest currency, and the other 2 will fall in line if you get your greatest currency right. So
I'm definitely writing that down right now.
Yeah,
Tony.
good on you, Jeff. So listen, mate, we need to know where you're going from here. What's your vision for the future for the Wysong Nation, mate?
That's a good vision, the Wysong Nation.
Yeah.
So I'll be frank, I'm still a baby in the business. But what I love about this business is that it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It matters what your goals and intentions are and putting the action behind it. So I'm able to really put the intention behind all this, and I'm really starting to grow things. And so that helps clear the fog off of my vision and makes things more tangible. And so by GTC, April of next year, I want to be able to at least get to the white party that everybody talks about, right? Isn't that area managers and above? That's my goal. I think we lost you, Tony. I don't know if I can hear you. Anyone else?
Sorry, mate.
There we go.
Yep. No, I was just saying, Jeff, was that a declaration, mate?
That is a declaration. I will be there. Will I see anybody else there? I will, won't I? Come on, Steve will be there, right? Becca?
Yeah. Look, there's the big fella himself, Brian Davis. He'll be there.
I see Chuck floating there too.
Oh, the big Chuck Meister, he'll be there. Brian Davis, he'll be driving all the way down in his new Mercedes for sure.
Fantastic.
Good on you,
yeah,
guys.
I really do love the fact that this business allows you to dream. It allows you to dream big, and you can do it in your time. There's no pressure. All there is love and support, and that really helps bold goals and dreams, I think, you know.
Well, 100%, mate. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I never mention anyone's elevation level in this group, because from my perspective, the most important title you'll ever have is IC, right? And
right.
I think you should be judged on your level of passion and commitment and contribution to the world and to the people in your life. Yeah.
That's right. And that's quite honestly why I decided to take up the business, is because I love the be able to reach out and help people. I knew that if I was doing something that affected me the way that it has, I wanted to share it, and I wanted to help people, you know, be the best versions of themselves. As cliche as that sounds, it really rings true. And it doesn't matter to me. Just as when I was in the military, rank to me didn't matter. I just wanted to be able to contribute and help people and do the good things that I was supposed to be doing. And so I never looked at rank, and it just happened. So
Righto, Jeff, mate, we're going to come close to finishing up, because, mate, I'd love to talk to you all day, right? Especially with all these rock stars we've got on here. But, mate, I just want to hear your top tips, mate.
Top tips. I think for me, is 100% be genuine, be yourself, and don't try to sell this business. If you want to get involved, don't sell anything. Just be you, be genuine, and the rest will happen. I think that's my top tip. I've seen a lot of people try and fake the funk and be somebody they're not, or do something they don't normally do. And it becomes very obvious. And if I can see it and smell it, so can other people. And if you're not really feeling it genuinely, it's the wrong approach. So just be genuine, be yourself, and people will gravitate to you. Yeah,
I'm hearing you, mate. I reckon people, they can kind of smell your passion before you mount from 10 meters away. They'll smell how passionate you are about this business, right? And so smell as good as you can is my advice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, Jeff, listen, mate, I could honestly talk to you all day. You're such an inspiration. And, mate, thanks for your service. Thanks for your contribution. So many people are going to get such value out of having listened to what you've got to say today, and such incredible stories. I would so love to hear more, mate. But how about it next time I'm in Seattle, I drop by, eh?
100%. We got an extra room for you right now. Come on over.
Awesome, awesome. Well, mate, we're going to sign off there. And, wow, thank you so much. Thanks for everyone that's joined us live. We've got Jace, Big Brian, Young Becca, big old Chuck there in California, and Alison all the way down from Arizona. Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope it's been of value. We're going to put this recording into the group, which will be really exciting. I think you'll get a lot of shares, and I'm really excited for what the future holds for you, Jeff. I think you're a future rock star, and I personally can't wait to see you walk that stage at GTC, mate. I reckon it's around the corner.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. And I just got to say right now that I think what you're doing for this this space, I guess, men in the Arbonne business is a big deal. I think it's a big deal, and I think you're doing a good job of showcasing it and highlighting it and making it the right way. So I appreciate that. Salute.
Thanks so much, my brother. And yeah, I really take that on board. And mate, if it wasn't for the contribution of you and guys like Brian and Chuck and Jace and Alison and Becca, just being here, it wouldn't be what Absolutely. It is. So thank you so much, guys, for making this a movement. We're a real community, and it's really exciting because next week, guys, I'm talking to a young gun. We've talked to enough, you know, of us old fellas. I'm speaking for myself, right? We've got a young fella by the name of Eli Godsey from North Michigan. Now, I don't know where that is, guys, but it sounds like a pretty cool place. So Eli is a young fella who's at uni, so we're going to get to hear from a young millennials perspective, and that'll be really exciting. So I'm hoping you guys will join us again. I don't know whether it's going to be a Zoom or we're going to be able to get that live feature going, but thanks so much for being here, guys. I'm going to hit the stop recording, and you guys will be able to come back, and Jeff will be able to see how good looking he is, and we'll look forward to all you guys joining us. And thanks so much for wherever you are, and feel free to chuck comments or share it into your network.
This was great, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. Or stop recording.